Jeff and Nicole Friday for
Please,
creating this
Jeff and Nicole Friday, thank you so much.
For birthing not one festival, not two festivals, just many festivals all over the world now. So we're so grateful for the platform. But if you have a film, a little short film, a new joint in the festival
Kendrick.
now. I'm just want to give you an opportunity to talk about that.
Co-starring my boy Ben, Sir Ben Aviola of ABFF as well. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that was just me just messing around, wanting to do a film to talk about the aftermath of the Drake and Kendrick battle and how the culture shifted into feeling like we had to choose between the two. I like them both, and I love J. Cole. We're both from Fayetteville, so I didn't like how social media was flipping the battle into this political like campaign. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna play both of their albums. So Kendrick is just my comedic poke at the herd mentality that the culture's in.
Crazy funny thriller. You get to go there. I think the reason that I love kind of bringing that up in this moment is that you take matters into your own hands, and then you find incredible collaborators, all of us on the stage who help to bring this to fruition. So tell me about when you two, Delmar, why don't you guys talk about a little bit about how you came together to do the special. And then
we have ABFF to thank for that.
Yeah.
Because we did Delmar's first short, and then ABFF was the first place we premiered it. But
Yeah.
tell the story.
Basically, Affion and I, we've known each other for a while within the entertainment space as well as Clayton. But we worked on Def Comedy Jam together, and I always told Affion, I want to work with you. We sat down one day, and he said, well, what are you really passionate about? And I was like, well, I'm writing this short film. It's called Worlds from Home. It's about a father-son relationship. And he read it, and he was like 4 or 5 pages in. I was like, you know what? I'm in. Let's shoot it. So we pulled together our community and our team, and we premiered the film here. And after we did the film, I told Abe, I said, man, I want to shoot your first special. And you know, I work with a lot of comedians, and some comedians say, oh yeah, we're gonna do it, blah blah. But one thing about Affion, he was like, let's do it. Let's put our money where our mouth is and come together. So when we shot his first special, I mean, it really broke barriers. You know, it opened up a lot of doors for us, and which opened this door for us. When we sat down, we talked, we said, well, what do we want to do next? Talitha set up a great relationship where we were able to pitch to Comcast and Xfinity, and we told them about this idea. And I knew, like, once Affion and I talked about, you know, these other, you know, comedians, like you see CT on stage, I mean, he killed it on this screen. But a lot of people don't realize that it takes a lot of time to get there. You know what I mean? I mean, the 3 comedians that we have, Nika King, Rel Battle, and Clayton, they've been doing it for over 10 plus years. So, you know, the fact that we were able to give a platform to, you know, fresh voices and people that's been doing it for a while, it's such a blessing. But
Talitha, we have you to thank for the plug.
Absolutely.
She saw the vision of it. She was like, I have somebody that I need to call that I think this would be perfect for. And Keisha, shout out to Keisha. She put it together, Talitha put it together, and yeah, here we are.
Yeah, here we are. So, Clayton, how do you
Watching forever, and it's like, you know, when you see somebody that you are familiar with on screen, you're like, oh man, I want to be this dude's friend. And then it wasn't like an immediate warm energy. Well, I was like, well, fuck him, you know what I mean? And then he had this this is like 2013. Remember you did the show at the Ha Ha? So he did the show, and he was like, yo man, come get down. And I was like, oh man, I'm so excited. And to be able to see everything that he's been doing, because I've seen everything Affion's done, and then to be able to develop this rapport and this relationship, and then since season 1 of Microphone Masters with Kenesha, Ranji, and Brandon Lewis, I went to the tapings and I was like, man, I was so happy for my friends, and I was even more happy that Affion took his platform to look out for other people, because that's so rare. Like in this business, people get their shot and they just keep doing their thing, or they'll like bring on people who are trash, you know what I mean? And you're like, these dudes are trash, you can't see talent in that. And Affion was like, no, I see people who are genuinely talented and he wanted to help. So when I saw season 1, I was like, man, this is so dope. Maybe one day I'll get a chance to be able to do one of these, but I was just happy for my friends. And then when season 2 came along, for him to give me that call was crazy. To go to your point, I'm huge into manifesting. Like, I'll see something and I know it's gonna happen. I have been doing comedy for 20 years, and a lot of my friends and peers were doing these specials, and I was like, that's good that they're self-producing their specials and stuff, but I'm like, somebody gonna produce mine for me, bro. I know it, and I'm gonna just wait until then. And when that call came, I was like, I fucking knew it.
Talk your talk.
Did you get that
And just
cue?
for the record, I have social anxiety. People don't know this, and I'm introverted extremely. So I'm not an asshole. So if you see me and I seem like I'm in my, mean mug, it's just I'm really anxious, and I'm trying to find my comfort zone so that I can now release and let go and then enjoy whatever and be present in the moment. So that's my thing.
He's
Not
the
that y'all
nicest guy in
care.
the world. Nicest guy in the world, I promise.
Yeah, you put on some soca music and then all of that changed.
You already know. Big up Caribbean people there. My Trinity people there. Yeah, what's these things, man? We all said big time.
Yeah, we gotta take this festival to the Caribbean.
Facts. We gotta go to Trinidad for this.
So, Abe, you are the host of this, which was really important because, as Clayton mentioned, you saw him at the Ha-Ha and said, come up and rock with me. I can't tell you how many people have repeated that same statement, that you saw them, you gave them a shot, right? So, host, executive producer, you're a comedian, you're creating things from scratch. How do you identify that emerging talent? Like being someone who's sitting back and watching, how do you know, yeah, he's next or she's next or they're next?
I've been studying comedy since I was a kid before I even knew I was gonna do it. Eddie Murphy's my all-time GOAT, and then the Chris Rocks and the Chappelles who's right up the street. Like these are the types of people. Richard Pryor, of course. Just there's a long list. Wanda Sykes. There's a long list of people who I've seen throughout the industry that they check all the boxes. They get on stage, they have a cadence, they have a style, they know how to be funny, but they also tell their story. He has everything. He has the whole thing. So much to the point, we didn't think he was gonna do it. I was like, Clayton to me is above being discovered, if you know what that means. Like I almost felt offensive asking him to do this, but he was like, what are you talking about? I would love to do it. So it was, we met at the same, in the middle of the road that we both wanted to be on, basically. But I just identify those who have a professionalism, a rhythm, and you can just tell who has been on stage and who's polished and who's not afraid of the moment. Like, again, you saw it, it was flawless. I see this special as a masterpiece, and it's not to gas him, it's just to say there's certain sets, right? We've become inundated with specials now because there's so many platforms that they're not even special. I call them stand-up regulars. But there's a few throughout history, including Damon Wayans' Last Stand. Like, there are stand-up specials that from top to bottom, it may not be the biggest laughs, but there's a synergy and a flow to the whole set that comes together in such a brilliant way. And that's what this is to me.
That's perfect here because I wanted to talk to you, Delmar, about how you mounted this production, because it's very specific and there are 3 comedians and you get to see them perform the special that they're doing for this production multiple times, and that's important. Why? And then how did you talk about how you found those moments to really capture Clayton's more tender moments that he was sharing in the special, which I think really does make it stand out in a tremendous way.
No, absolutely. Well, I think it's also important for me as a director to study, so I spent a lot of time seeing Clayton perform around town, and also the other comedians. The reason why I do that is because I tailor the camera movement for their energy and set up the shots and the cutting and things of that nature. So when he's leaning into the audience, I want to make sure that the people that are at home are feeling like they're part of the live show. But most importantly, I always lean in towards more the authentic voice and the journey. So Clayton came to this, very vulnerable. He opened up to us, not only on the stage, but behind the scenes as well. And I just wanted to make sure that we capture that on screen, so.
Can you talk a little bit about just that crane shot and like, you know, getting that moment in there, because I mean, that was masterful, right?
Funny enough, when we were, Clayton, he delivered a lot of time, which was great. You know, a lot of comedians, sometimes they don't come in on time, but he had a lot of time. And it was like one of the things, he was like, well, we gotta put some stuff on the cutting floor. And AP came in and we were like, well, here's 5 jokes that we have. It's like, we all was like, no, we can't put that one on the cutting floor. It's just so different, it's so unique. So it was kind of cool, the experience.
What did you think about that? Just that improv moment, you know, you called the Crane Man a freak.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's definitely a freak. I think it was magic. We did 2 shows, right? The first show, as any comedian, you're filming something, you're like, all right, I wanna do this, blah, 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 blah. And the second one, you're like free. It's like you got the first one in the can, now you're free to be able to do something. And that just was a moment that came out of the blue. That was, it was very fun.
Yeah, it's very fun. Congratulations on that. It's a special moment that I think will mark this special as special and not regular.
Absolutely.
So why do you all feel like it's important? Because now you've been in the game for a long time now too, so you have this platform, you get to now also pay it forward. Why do you think it's important for us to amplify, you know, comedic voices, you know, in this moment?
I think comedic voices are the last bearers of the truth, you know, and you know they're actively trying to silence us too. So, you know, those of us who are brave enough to be like, I'm not gonna water it down. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just be honest about what's going on, where we are. That's why my first special is called Mirror to Society. I want to hold up the mirror and show us all where we are, and I don't exclude myself. I talk about myself as well, but yeah, that's why it's very important. And then again, so many people come up to me and say, man, during the pandemic, you and Spice Adams, you saved me. You made it a better time. So it's like, clearly laughter is the best medicine for a lot of things, depression. And like, I've heard people say they went through losing a family member and they laughed at something, or they laughed at something I did. So for me, I know what my purpose is, and I know what the importance of comedic voices like a Clayton is. And we all are different. So why his shine don't diminish me? Why would I not want to elevate this guy? Why would I not? There's enough for all of us. So that's my mentality. Ain't no crabs in the bucket out here. I don't even eat crab. Shout out to Baltimore. I know y'all.
If I may, first I want to say thank you both again, but Affion, thank you for throwing the lob, man. That was huge. It was a massive moment. I also want to say it's such a blessing and a crazy moment because we filmed this. May 9th is my birthday. So we filmed this on my birthday. Yes. And it's crazy because we had like 2 other dates that we were going to originally do, and it ended up being on my birthday. And then this came around, and today's October 10th, and today is my mother's birthday.
Hey, Mama. Birthday, Mama. You did good, Mama.
Her first time being able to see, this is my first time seeing it produced. We saw like the rough cut. And so for my wife and my mother to be here to see the special on her birthday, she just turned 65, is a blessing. I'm very grateful. Yeah. And shout out to my dad. We talk about vulnerability. This special, I wasn't even gonna talk about my dad. I was like, you know, I was gonna do the thing where I just talk about my mom all the time. And something that I didn't get a chance to say in the interview, I didn't even think about this until we got done, was my dad always said, he's like, you know, you got a dad too? And I'm like, yeah, all right, you know what I'm gonna do? The next time I'm on TV, this is 2017, I was like, the next time I'm on TV, I'm going to say your name as a thank you. And at the end of my set of Def Jam, All Def Comedy, HBO, I was like, yo, Dad, this one's for you. And I got the standing ovation, and he actually died before he got a chance to see it. And it was like, I did this for him, right? And this special was the opportunity to make him live forever, and then play his voice in that voicemail, which I could never sit and watch it. Even when it happened here, I had to get up and leave the room. It was like, now I've paid a piece of homage to my father. I'm gonna keep talking about him because that's how you keep people alive, is keep talking about him to everybody. But this whole thing was just such a massive blessing to even happen.
Thank you for sharing that. And then, so let's talk about the documentary portion. When we first talked about the show, obviously your special didn't have that piece, but it was something, it was important for you both to add something here that would make it stand out and to give voice to the journey that got these comedians where they are. We now have 6 specials. These specials will be airing on Comcast Xfinity Black Experience Network in November, and you can catch it on Zumo Play as well. So we'll be sharing out and making sure you all know how to watch and support. But talk about that piece of it and what you gained from that, both of you.
For me, it was very important to showcase that comedians we're people, we're human beings. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the airport at 6 a.m., just woke up from that sleep in the chair like that, and people be like, hey man, let me get a picture. And it's like, you don't want to say no, of course, because the blessing is the people that support you. But they sometimes don't factor in, maybe he just had something happen, or maybe something is awful. We don't get a chance to be human, so I wanted to have the interview part, because for one, a lot of stand-up specials don't do that. So I wanted to have a special that after you see the brilliant performance, that we just talk a little bit and just get to know the sensibilities of the artist.
Yeah, I would piggyback on that. Definitely the vulnerability side. I mean, he talked about selling a chain. I don't know too many people that's gonna admit to, like the trials and tribulations and opening up about their lives in order to get to where they wanna be, I mean, I take my hat off for you just admitting that as a human being and as a man, you don't know it all, even though sometimes people think you might have it all together, but you just don't. And, to hear that, it was inspiring, for me as a filmmaker. But most importantly, I just love the authenticity that he spoke about, specifically about his journey and all the ups and downs.
Bro, my wife, man, when we got together, I told her straight up, like I think I was like 22, we started dating. I was like, hey, I ain't got no money. I'm like, I'm on the bus, just a heads up. I'm not the guys you've dated before. I'm not gonna be able to take you here, take you there. And she was like, the vulnerability that you showed, because most men will lie about that. Like, my mom is my testament. I was not raised to have all that pride and, to be front. I've never lied to kick it or fake it till you make it. I'm like, hey, don't have it. And I even told Affion during the interview, I was like, hey man, during the pandemic, I got rich. Like, I got a lot of money during the pandemic. And then we got a house and that money was gone. It was gone. And I was like, man, I thought the money was gonna continue to come. So, money is fluid. It's gonna come, it's gonna go. What you do with it is what you do with it. But I definitely didn't have a lack of pride for selling that chain. It's like, whatever you gotta do, take care of your family, man.
And yeah, clap for that. But I just wanted to add that because we had to edit for time, what even prompted him to volunteer that story was me saying, I didn't think he was gonna do this because in my mind, Clayton is one of those people that's always working and he has it all figured out. And that was him being vulnerable enough to be like, nah, I don't have it figured out. And I just take my hat off to you and how you, told us that story.
It's the vulnerability for me.
Come on, black woman from Jamaica. Come on now.
No, thank you for pulling us out so much. I mean, look, I am a black woman from Jamaica. I'm also a black woman who grew up in this beautiful black city. And
amen now, come on, Chocolate City.
I love when we get to just the complexity, the dynamism of black women gets to be shown. And you really go there with Tangerine now. You put her on front stage. So talk about the balance of that, because now people are going to see this on platforms all over, and they're going to be stopping her, Tangerine, they're going to be stopping you in these streets. So talk about the balance of, bringing your family in, but also building a cohesive show.
So first I'll start with Tangerine has heard every one of these jokes from inception and conception. Like, I'll be around the house, I'm like, it'd be funny. And she's like, yeah, that would be funny. Like, she's helped me. She does comedy. So a lot of things she'll be like, nah, you should say, I ain't shit. I'm like, yeah, that's good. It's good stuff right there. So like, she's helped me so much with material. And then when we speak about black women, I think what had always gotten lost, and this is why I'm so proud of this, is because, and you can tell me by round of applause, black women in here, if you felt respected and loved? Okay. The
He was
reason,
like, nah, he said hoes, and I don't like that. He said hoes, so I feel away right now.
and I definitely wanted to specify the difference between the black women that we love and respect and these hoes. I wanted y'all both to know that there's love for y'all. And the reason that is because the reason I stand by this special so much is because for a lot of my career, I said one side to make the man look better. And I'm like, nah, man, black women are the ones who hold you down. And I have 5 sisters. I was raised in the house. My mother and my older sister took care of me my whole life. They're the strongest women I know, my wife. So I'm surrounded by black women all the time. And I'm like, I have to glorify women more and telling their story. Like when I say I saw my mom work 2 jobs, when I say I've heard every story that my women friends, that my women family members have been through, it's like it's time to start showcasing that. So it's that balance of, yes, being funny, but separating you knowing that I'm not calling all black women hoes. I'm saying these are black women over here that we love and respect, and these are these hoes that we respect. And I appreciate them.
The hoes call themselves hoes, so we
That's a
gotta
fact.
disrespect the lifestyle that they chose.
You know?
That rhyme, by the way.
But with my wife, it's always, she and I have the darkest sense of humor, and we laugh about some crazy stuff. Like, I'll say the sentence. So my wife is a survivor of so many different things. She's a survivor of domestic abuse in previous relationships and different things that she's been through. That's her journey, her story to tell. And with that, I always pick her up. But this is the dark sense of humor part. She'll say something that's from her past about domestic abuse. And I'm like, you shouldn't be joking about this. And she's like, but it's funny. And I'm like, I didn't say it wasn't funny. I said you shouldn't be joking. So it's like that's the balance. It's like always being able to remember that even if you make fun of something, you're not making fun of people's problems. You're making fun of your own or how you see the world.
That's powerful. So where can we watch you next? Where can we see you and Tangerine, performing together?
So we do I know she's gonna love this. We do a marriage podcast called The Marriage Go Round. You can search it on YouTube. You can find it if you type in her name, TanJareen, The Marriage Go Round. Also, I am on a show called Little Kev right now on BET Plus. I'm also on a show called Electric Bloom on Disney Plus, and I'm filming an episode of The Neighborhood right now on CBS.
Suffice it to say, you got your Cuban link back.
Here's the thing. I didn't get the Cuban link back yet because I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to sell it again. So I'm like, I'm holding off on buying anything. I just want to make sure bills continue to be paid, family has got what they need, and that's that. But yeah.
We want to run this up to make sure that people see what you brought to the screen, what you brought in terms of your vulnerability, and it's just such a fully realized package in a special. It really does feel like one of one. So
Can I say
congratulations
something?
on that. Yeah.
Bro, I was so nervous. I didn't think anybody, I thought it was gonna be me, Affion, Delmar, my wife, and my mama, bro. So the fact that anybody came in here, thank y'all for being here, bro. I was so scared. Every joke, I was just like, and then I was sitting there, and there was this black woman behind me, and they started talking, and I was like, I need y'all to lower your voice or something. And then they were laughing, and then I started seeing more people laughing. I was like, oh, thank God, because you never know. When you see the rough cut, you're like, oh, all right, this is gonna be funny. Until you throw it in front of a group of people, you just never know. So I am, from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you guys so much.
I don't know. Are we doing questions from the audience? No one gave me kind of like that prompt.
We freestyle.
That would be amazing.
Let's do it.
Bob
Bob
Summer's in the building.
Oh,
Before you say that,
yeah.
I would not be here without Bob Summer. That is a statement with a period on the end of it. Bob Summer is the talent scout from Def Comedy Jam. Back in 1994, when I first started doing comedy, Bob Sumner was going around. Well, he was doing it before I started, but That's how Bernie Mac, Chris Tucker, every legend that y'all know, Steve Harvey, Bill Bellamy, that was on Def Comedy Jam specifically. That was the show that turned black comedy into the millionaires that you see Chappelle in Capitol Arena right now, Capital One. Bob Sumner is the guy. And he saw me in Charlotte, North Carolina, when all I had was a dream. I was just a dancer that wanted to do comedy, that saw the show, Def Comedy Jam. I said, y'all want to be on that. And this man saw my first set and was like, look, this is a lesson in perseverance. He did not take me the first year. He said, you dope, but you're not ready yet. I could have been discouraged and quit, went back to college and graduate with my degree and go into a business, corporate America. I came back excited the next year, showed him what I had, and I was on that very next year. So shout out to Bob Sumner. Thank you, sir.
And just FYI, Bob gave me my first stand-up opportunity. We shot it in Philadelphia. When Bob launched his agency, he said, Del, I'm gonna come get you. I got you. I was at film school at the time, and Bob called me. He said, I got the talent. We're gonna go to Philly. We're gonna shoot it in your hometown. And that was my first shot. Thank you.
So yeah, I'm just imitating Bob by doing this.
Yo, wait, because y'all both got y'all. It's two quick ones. One,
Bob, we gotta give you flowers. It's flowers
facts.
time.
Take your flowers. 2005, I'm starting comedy. They're bringing Def Jam back, right? I'm auditioning. Bob was like, hey, how you doing? I knew I didn't get it after I performed, and they just said, how you doing? I'm like, damn, right? Fast forward, Kevin Hart is hosting Comic View 2008, right? So Bob is booking this, right? I come back and I come to LA. I was on a trip to do comedy. The clip that you showed where I was in the fatigue jacket, me and Kool-Aid, the person that helped me start in comedy, we were in Japan. He was filming Comic View. I came to see him. I saw Bob. Bob said, hey, you're ready. I was like, what? Tomorrow. You're ready. And I was like, oh, right? And I filmed Comic View the next day, standing ovation, because that man saw something in me. I appreciate you forever, Bob.
We are all here because of Bob Sumner.
Man.
Come on,
Hands
let's
down.
give it up for a living legend. Bob, you had a question for this illustrious panel.
Okay.
He can hold the mic. He knows how to hold it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
First, I mean, it's so much I can say right now, so much, because, you know, Delmar, when I think about that Philadelphia taping, that wasn't nothing more. I'm gonna talk about it in my book, you know, but that was like a Thanksgiving turkey that we made. Because when you look at what happened, it turned into Showtime specials, it turned into my Laugh Mob Laugh Tracks joint, it turned into Carlos Miller becoming a star, Lil Rel becoming a star, some of them are no longer here with us. You know, it's like, that was so much. And what happened was I paid attention to you and knowing that you really studied under the tutelage of Stan Lathan. I knew what it was. But Jeff Friday and I, we came up with all of this before the film festival. Like, it's so many different things that we'll share during the course of this weekend. You know, I just come from the Apollo, like I'm late here because I need some sleep. I had a late night show last night. When I left the Comedy Store, I went to the Apollo. It was all behind Jeff and I's grind. Y'all grind. Affion. I just told the story about the kid that worked with Bruckheimer yesterday. You know that story. We'll get into that one day. But you, and even your connection now to Regina, you know what I'm saying? That all comes from us coming together. And as you can see, I'm here, Jeff will tell you, this dude, somebody sent me a photo. I was like 20 years old or something. Somebody the other day. We go way back. We have a lot of history into bringing all this together, which now is 30 years in Miami. Y'all all gotta know this early. You see that? But not just that. Here, with this comedy thing, it's serious here. And no different than I've watched people go to Montreal to Just for Laughs, or now Netflix is a joke in Hollywood. All